I feel like that's not fair.
I did that too, people, though. Like we do sometimes play when people are in labor and they're out in their balls, and you're sort of building it up, the suspense and the drones and the heartbeat, boom, 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 boom.
Wow.
And sometimes it really works, and sometimes they just really just tell you to get lost. Because I actually felt like that the last 2 times I had a baby, and in the end I had an epidural and then listened to a lot of whiny male voices and had a lovely time.
Oh, that's great.
I'll probably do that again this time.
Yeah.
Dystopia Tonight. Dystopia Tonight.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah.
Good.
Happy to be here.
Oh, good. I'm glad. So wait, before we even get, what is the thing that they got going on in England? You guys have a different shot than we do?
I think we have 3 shots, don't we?
Oh, wow.
I'm pretty sure I had the Pfizer and everybody was very jealous that I had that one. I've had 3, so
nice. Yeah, same. I've got the 3. I didn't get the fourth one yet. I don't know. There's no in particular no reason why I haven't got. Well, I think it was because it was like if you were they weren't giving it out to people who were presumably not going to die, so they were like, you can wait. And then now I've just waited too long to the point where like I've got to get my flu shot and that shot at the same time, so I'm going to be out for like 3 days straight probably.
Yeah, and then I was gonna say if you had it, they wouldn't let you get it for like another 6 months off of having it.
Oh, that's right. That's another reason why I didn't get it, because I did wind up finally catching it, after 2.5 years of not having it. So, yeah, that's a bummer.
Times. When you have kids, you get everything. So.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
We're giving our children polio injections now, so
Oh my God, what a backwards. I mean, it really did. We, I mean, when you think about like, what I love looking at, I like looking at all the stuff from like. I don't know, like 60s, 70s, and 80s about what they thought the future was going to look like in like 2022. And we have not lived up to the hype.
Yeah.
Right? It's a real kind of a bummer thing. No Jetson situation, no flying cars, no high rises, nothing.
I mean, we've got Post-it notes.
True. They didn't have those then.
Yeah.
Don't we?
Yeah. A little plug for Post-it, everybody. They're like, thanks, Mel. It's about time someone mentioned us. Jesus. So you're supposed to be gigging right now, and I know you're not, and you're here with us and whatever. But have you been back out on the road lately doing stuff like for the most part since since we haven't been able to tour and stuff like that during COVID? Like, how long have you been back out?
Well, we've been doing sort of some sneaky gigs here and there. Not sneaky, illegal, obviously.
Ah, gotcha.
But, I play in a couple of other bands, and we sort of did some more house-based things, a little bit like Sofa Sounds, that kind of stuff. And I do a lot of music in hospitals as well, at the moment,
really?
which is something that did continue and then kind of had to stop because of COVID. But it's sort of a lot of improvisation and sort of making music, but with people that don't normally get to do that, I guess, because they're hooked up to machines and things like that.
Right.
So, that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, when you say improvising music, I mean, is it something you guys just do collaboratively with the musicians that you're with, or do you actually take like maybe like requests and kind of feed off of whatever audience you're in front of?
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of it's not like a performance. We don't go in and say, hello, here we are. You listen to us. Every single person in a ward is going to have a completely different vibe or situation. So it's very much, there's a couple of us musicians that work together. Okay. And we might have a couple of songs that we might like to play around with that are kind of accessible, like the Beatles or something. But we maybe use a little bit from a song, but generally we would improvise on what the sort of feel is around you, and you have to be able to change that quite quickly depending on what's happening, because you might have one person who's coming out of a coma whilst there's another person having a heart attack in the other corner. So you have to be on your feet, like really hyper aware of your body in the space and movement, and not being in the way if the crash trolley comes through, that kind of thing.
Right. How did that that's really interesting. I've never heard or seen anything like that. How did that even come about?
Oh, well, I mean, I think I spent so long doing gigs, and I absolutely love being on stage more than anything in the whole world. And I then worked for a really nasty man in a PR company. And it didn't go that well in between tours. And it just made me reconsider. I left the job, which I've never done before, really, like in that way. And it made me just think there must be a way of using music for other people. There must be something. And so I started like looking online, and there was this job that said music in healthcare, and I'd never heard of it. I'd heard of like music therapy. Yeah. That's like a scientific clinical thing, which is you have to have more qualifications than I do for that. And I just basically turned up for this audition, and I didn't have any experience and just blagged it. And then they trained me up, but it's been amazing. Like, you're allowed to go into like the most vulnerable spaces and be with people as they, wake up from operations or have blood taken, and distract them with music. And we'd have like a trolley full of instruments, and like they might join in. Wow. We'd have, the security staff with their tasers might join in, things like that.
Oh my!
It's great.
I'm literally imagining coming out of like a serious operation or a coma and hearing music and being like, "Holy fucking shit, I died!" Like, is this like are these angels playing to me right now? What is happening? But it's nice to be able to see you guys.
Sometimes it's like that, and then you might get another time when someone just tells you to F off because they hate the violin. I would awards that can happen.
Yeah, I love the violin. I'm a very big like string instrument person, which I think it was just, I don't even know where that even came from, but we just had Natalia Kay on, who's a Celtic fiddler for the band Gaelic Storm, and the fiddle, the violin, like seriously, I always be like, if I was ever in a coma. Have you seen the new season of Stranger Things?
Yeah.
Whenever everybody's been like, hey, what would be your song or whatever? Like, there's a bunch of 80s stuff I like I just love that kind of shit. But I swear to God, if you played like a violin or a fit or anything like that, I bet you I would wake up, or just be a little, maybe you'd hear some, because it really just lifts me up whenever I hear anything like that.
Oh, great. I'm trying to think of my favorite sort of violin. I love like the stuff that's on like Graham Parsons.
Oh yes, absolutely.
John Cale, and it's just so like reedy and weedy, and just kind of like male singer voices like that as well. I tend to go for the sort of nasally, reedy ones that cut through a bit. And I guess the violin's a bit like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Do you find that's kind of funny, because I feel like whenever I hear those kind of voices, like I'm glad that they exist. And there was a time period where like nobody was judged on like an American Idol or a TV show or whatever. I think you have one in England too, or Britain's Got Talent or whatever it is, because it's like, man, they would be like, this guy can't fucking sing. You know what I mean? But it's just, but it's beautiful. Like it's like, I always think like Dylan would have never made it, like if he was being judged by like, because I wouldn't, what do they call it? Vocalists, I think, or whatever. Like the difference between like
trained singer,
right, to like there's vocalists and then there's stylists, and I think like a Dylan and what you said, Graham Parsons, those people would be like a stylist.
Yeah, and like that guy from Tame Impala, I love his voice.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Really like high and Big Star, Alex Chilton. And
yep. Oh my God,
I love him.
Yeah, Big Star, amazing. Yeah. Were those your, when you started, when you were younger, were you musically inclined as a kid? Were you like always into like the violin and stuff and those kind of bands?
I think I was very much just like classical, because I started playing violin and piano when I was quite young, and just did that. And then I don't really think, to be honest, I went to church, so I was like very much into sort of like church music. Like singing sort of, like Pentecostal revival-y that kind of stuff with my family. And then when I went to uni, I just never joined a band, because I was so happy not to have to practice the violin and the piano anymore.
Wow.
never doing it again. So I didn't do anything until I moved to London, and then just joined a punk band and learned how to improvise. And then I think my influences came from a lot from going on tour, firstly with the Clientele when I was like 21, and being on the road and people giving us CDs and discovering like country music and psychedelic music and just being like, wow, this is amazing.
Wow.
Like listening to hours of music, because we'd be in the van for like 7 hours sometimes.
Yeah.
And you can't talk to the same people for that long.
Oh man, I'm going to a wedding in Chicago and we got to drive 10 hours. So I'm like, I'm going to be talking to people for that long, or maybe just cranking out some.
That's for you guys though, isn't it? That's like,
it's going to be exciting. It's we're all friends and shit. And we haven't seen each other in a while. So it'll be nice. My buddy's literally like, we're going to take my grandmother's van. And I'm like, does it run? Like, please don't describe it as your grandmother's van. Cause like, give me like a year. Like, is it going to run? You know what I mean? Like, what are we driving in here?
That description comes with a very specific smell to it, I feel like.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like, yeah, I'm like, oh, I'm not sure. Is it new? What's going on? Did you like, so you went from uni to going to joining a punk band and then joining the Clientele. What was the time frame like for that? Like, how long were you involved in the punk band, and then what was the switch like to going into the Clientele?
Oh, well, actually, there was another band before the Clientele. The Clientele. You keep tricking
the Clientele.
me.
Do I really? I'm such an American piece of shit.
No, that's how you guys say it. And then
yeah.
I think I'm pretty sure it was the Clientele.
The Clientele. Yeah. Yeah, that's actually much better.
No, I like the way you guys say it. It's nice. I joined a band called the Le Volume Courbe, which means the volume curve, which is French singer, which is she's amazing actually, and she sort of grabbed me and made me part of her unit, and I started using all these loop pedals, and it was so much fun. And we did a lot of stuff with My Bloody Valentine, because she sort of was involved in that and did some stuff with her. They used to be together, so
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was. And then it was the Clientele.
Okay.
Through MySpace, would you believe it?
Really?
Wow.
MySpace, yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. That was like right at the peak of when I started doing stand-up. So like MySpace was like this, because it was, Dane Cook, I think at the time, is the one that was like the first comedian to like utilize that in a way that was, they had to reorganize their whole system on, because he basically like built his career off of like fans from like the internet, which is crazy. I mean, that was the first person to do it. And then of course we all jumped on, like I started doing comedy when I was like 20, and MySpace was like just a thing. So yeah, we tried to get on that toot sweet, and then it didn't work out as well, but
You're here now?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah. I made it now. I made it this far. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, MySpace. But that's awesome. So you guys met over, did you find them or they found you?
I think Brian O'Shaughnessy, who was a producer on quite a few of their records, saw me play in the other band and said, and I was just complaining that I hadn't really found the type of band that I really wanted to add to and be part of. And he told me about them and said, you should just get in touch. They have some strings on their stuff. Mm-hmm. So I just emailed them on MySpace, and they said, okay, come and have a jam. And so I went and had a jam and just sort of improvised. And then they were like, let's go for a beer. Do you want to come on tour for 3 months? I was like, okay, cool.
Wow.
I didn't know any of the songs, so I had to sort of like learn them whilst on the road, but it was amazing. Did
you intend at the time like to do like the backing vocals and stuff like that too, or were you just brought on to do like violin and string instruments and stuff?
I think it was, they knew I played keyboards and strings, and the singing for me came later. I was so shy. Like I really felt like I couldn't sing. You could only sing as if you had one of those voices you were talking about earlier. Trained, really loud, powerful Aretha Franklin kind of voice, which I absolutely love, but I don't have, sadly. And so it took quite a long time for me to have the confidence to do that. I think we did a tour with Peter, Bjorn and John, I think, and they sort of forced me to sing that young folks song. Yeah, that's excruciating for me. So
really,
I was so scared, but then I grew to love it, and I did.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, because it's so good.
It's a great song. Yeah, it definitely happened over time, I think. Yeah.
I find that funny because a lot of times when we've had guests on who do like backing vocals and stuff like that, and then slowly work their way into singing, I'm surprised because, you know, obviously you don't hear it when you're listening to an album or like from the outside perception, you just think people are naturally inclined to doing that kind of stuff. But a lot of people have that feeling where they're like, I just play an instrument. I don't want to do the vote. I don't want to do any backing vocal. I don't want to sing or whatever. And then they kind of find their way into it.
Yeah. I think microphones really help as well, because I think if your voice isn't naturally really, really powerful and loud, I think you can't sing, but the microphone is a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
I love it. I just love it. It's so nice to be able to hear yourself properly, and you don't have to, like, you know, spout it out really loud in order to be heard and for it to be nice. But I think that the girl I play with in Le Volume Court, the French singer, she's very breathy. She speaks a lot, and it's you have to listen. It's good.
Oh, absolutely will. Yeah. What was, I mean, did you guys find like the downtime during the pandemic and stuff? Like, I mean, I'm using downtime loosely because none of us had much of a choice. But did you kind of use that time creatively? Did you feel like it was a nice break from what you were doing? Like, what was your experience with it?
It was mixed, really. I popped another baby out, so I had to deal with that.
Hey, congrats!
Which was fun with no help from anyone because everybody was locked away.
Right.
And we actually got COVID before COVID lockdown happened in the UK.
Oh wow!
We were already in lockdown for like a month nearly before, so that was a bit rubbish. Damn. But then I started sort of getting my sister over because she was in our bubble, and she's 10 years younger than me, so very fun and
nice
energy. And we started sort of doing some music together, which was nice. Which
Sweet.
I need to revisit. We called it With Mel and I.
Oh, nice.
Well, we haven't done anything with it. It's just all there somewhere.
So you got it all recorded and stuff?
Yeah, but I am so bad at recording. I've never had to sort of learn how to do that stuff. And I find by the time I've done it, I just lost interest because I need to just put it out there without having to. So yeah, we have, but I tell you what, my garage band and skills are awful.
Oh man, I'm like, with Tom will tell you, I'm like learning that we like this kind of stuff. Like even like I'm learning most of it on the fly, and even like it's still like I feel almost like, so there's like you know, reels and stuff like that on Instagram. Like everybody's like really big into posting that kind of stuff, and I don't know, it just seems daunting. And I feel the same way you do when something is past. Like not even like I don't like it anymore. I'm just like, oh, we're moving on to the next thing. It's really weird to have to circle back and like, you know, post your stuff and like try to make it so like it's relevant. It's a weird thing to do.
You need an assistant, it sounds like.
Tell me about it. Yeah, I would love one. That would be amazing. Are you good at kind of moving? Because I mean, especially with the stuff that you and your sister are working on, though, are you good at moving past projects that you've already done? Like, do you revisit your old stuff and go, oh, you know, I can make that better, or I can kind of tweak this here?
Yeah. Yes. I think my problem is I'm very much like, I like working with someone else. And I think that's partly because I enjoy other people's ideas, but also because I'm a little bit lazy. And it's so much easier with somebody else.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to be less like that now. I'm nearing 40. Shh.
You and me both.
Yeah, I guess you must be about the same age when you said you're in your 20s.
Yeah, I'm going to be 38 in November.
Oh, you're a baby.
Oh my God, thank you. Can you stay forever? I don't know what. Oh my God. That's lovely. Yeah, no, I know. I'm like dreading
really?
Yeah.
It's no different.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think there's any difference. I feel like 30s were like the 20s.
30s was...
I did everything I wanted to do in my 20s, except I had a little bit of income then.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 20s are a bit of a blur for me. Like, I feel like it was just like friends and like I was on the road. So, I mean, I'm on the road now, but I was just everywhere, you know, learning and doing stuff. And then the 30s was, you know, oh God, I don't even want to say it like it's over. Jesus Christ. But like they were, you know, they're there and whatever. And then, you know, and I was doing a bunch of other different career stuff and made a lot of strides. But now for some reason in my head, 40 seems like something's supposed to happen. I don't know what. I don't know what's going on.
I get that.
I have to wait and see.
Yeah, that's up. Yeah, that's kind of ominous but optimistic when you say it. It's nice.
It sounds better with her accent.
It does sound better with it. Yeah, she's got a beautiful face, friendly voice, beautiful face. So I'm like, oh, just maybe I'll keep that in mind when I turn. That way it won't seem so dreadful. Oh my God. Hopefully I won't look too much more like Jesus after that. Like maybe I'll fix some shit up. That'd be nice.
You already got him beat. He only made it to 33. You're in good shape.
Take that, Jesus.
You've got lots of hair, haven't you?
I do.
I'm very proud,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's nice. It's all there. It's all real. God, I know. A lot of my friends are like, "Fuck you, dude." Like, I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. It's Italian. My dad's side of the family, oddly enough, and we'll stop talking about me in a second. But like, they literally, it's so boring. I'm so boring. But like, they have all his brothers are just full heads of hair, well into their 70s. Like, that's the one thing that's gonna remain after they're gone.
I heard it was only you follow the mother's side.
That's what I heard too, and I'm ignoring that because my grandfather, not so much hair.
Wow.
So I'm afraid to like say it out loud because knock on wood. I mean, I think I'm past the point in time where
tomorrow morning you're gonna be brushing your locks and it's just gonna come clumping out.
Mom, I swear to fucking God, if you jinx me,
it's
over.
Happen when you're 40.
No, Mel,
Wow.
what are you doing to me?
That's what she meant by we'll have to see.
Tom, end the feed. Got it. Oh my God, that'd be nightmarish. Fuck, brutal. Are you coming to? Do you like? I mean, because I know you have another kid on the way now, right? And are you? Is that why you kind of like stopped touring at this point, or like you're not going out?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a week to go.
Oh wow! Holy mother!
Yeah, no, I've got a massive stomach. Woo.
Oh my God, beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it could come now. I mean, it might happen whilst we're talking. Who knows?
On air, that'll be our first.
That'll be our first dystopia baby. That's so nice. Yeah, I know, right?
Okay,
I'm like, what do we do? We're too far away.
Boil some water.
I know, yeah. I started putting on like a hat and jacket. Like, I'll be right there.
Glass of wine here. So.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, cheers.
Very nice. All right, it's good. So what are you coming to the States anytime? It's like, what's your touring schedule like normally though? Do you come to the US anytime?
Well, there are no plans at the moment. I have recently done some stuff with do you know Steve Mason? He's High Fidelity soundtrack, Beta Band. Been doing some new bits with other people. So yeah, who knows? Maybe.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's the guys that I was meant to be playing with tonight, the Johnny, I can never say it. I find it Johnny Halifax Invocation. Oh, I call them the hairy guys. Not but it's very very different music to anything I've played before. But these guys, I mean, they're going on tour like to Amsterdam, I think, some other places next week. So potentially, cool. I'd love to. Yeah.
Do you have any preference between the like instrument wise, like between doing like a violin or like the keyboard or piano and stuff like that? Like, do you have something that you lean more towards when you're creating?
Oh. Well, I actually started like noodling around on the guitar so I could like songs by using the guitar, because I did start by sort of doing it with plucking violin, but I think sometimes it's just easier if you have an instrument which you can just do the rhythm on really easily like that. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to just do the piano like la 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 piano. And ukulele as well I find really fun.
Oh wow!
Like it's so easy and simple to.
Yeah, my friend just picked up the ukulele and he's noodling around on it and stuff, and I think it's his like instrument of choice basically at the moment.
It's so inoffensive, isn't it? You can't.
It really is.
It's kind of violin where you. I mean, a lot of people are like, "Oh gosh."
Really? Wow! I love the.
Please don't let my child learn violin, please. Practice in the shower. It sounds so much nicer.
Right. Are you so like? Would you encourage your kids to like do something in the arts and stuff like that, or do you feel like like has it been, like a hard road basically for you, where you're like, oh, I wouldn't kind of want anybody to go in without a backup plan? Or are you like, yes, no, be creative as much as possible?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Nice.
Yeah. I feel like so lucky that my parents pushed me to study music. If I hadn't been pushed, I'm not like, is it Handel who like was just like a prodigy who just did it on his own?
Right.
I would not have done that, and I needed someone to like, come on, do practice, do this. And I'm so glad that they did that, because it just gave me this path to be able to meet people. And I have been really lucky in who I've met. And I think at the time when I started, there weren't that many people playing violin in the way it isn't in a string quartet.
Right.
So it's quite easy for me to find people that I could play with, and being able to improvise and not having to read the music all the time. All that kind of
That's great.
Yeah. It makes it just so much freer if you don't have, it's nice to be able to do that, but like to have the confidence.
Do you find it interesting to switch between maybe the classical element of it and doing, because you like the punk band is awesome, and then you've got the Clientele, and then you've got like the other stuff that you're playing with now. Is it like a switch in your brain where you got to go, okay, I'm doing this kind of music now, I got to do this, or is it just fluid for you, like you can switch on and off?
Yeah, it's just fluid. I feel like it's like the only time when I don't feel like my arms are too long for my body. Like it doesn't. I don't think about it. It just happens, like the music, and just becomes part of the body. And like, I mean, I don't like having my photo taken and things like that, but like being on stage and being in the music, like it just makes everything okay.
Nice.
Wow. Sounds a bit weird, but
no, I totally understand that.
And going back to what you're saying about children doing it, it's like I am getting my son's like 5, and he's going to learn an instrument, but he's learning how to find his musical aptitude at the moment, which is like being free in your body. Because when you're little, everybody's like, I can sing. And then as you get older, everyone's like, no, I can't. Possibly. And get more and more sort of like embarrassed about stuff. So he's doing these sort of classes where they learn to be free in their movement, like they are when they're toddlers. So
how is it for you with your kids in classes? And then when they like, do you ever disagree with what they're being taught, where you're like, listen to your mother, who is a touring musician and has played with everybody?
No, of course not. No. There were a few groups I used to take them to where everybody's like, not at all it just doesn't feel genuine, and I just stopped going. There is, there's a place for everything. It's just for me, I didn't really enjoy being in those kind of ones.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you.
Clap your hands at this point, and you do this, and like no sort of freedom.
Right. Are you the type of person, like, when you're writing music and stuff like that and creating stuff, how does it come to you? Do you sit down to do it? Like, do you have schedule? Are you basically like kind of regimented in a way, do you think? Like where you're like, okay, I got to sit down and I got to create. So I don't feel like you are, but I know like the process for like.
I wish that I was so much.
Yeah.
I need that. I really need that. And I would like one day to be able to say that I did do that. And that, maybe I need to get my mum and dad to come and smack me. No, I it tends to be like I hear a little something in my ear when I'm lying in bed and record it on my phone, and then I'll suddenly have a spurt of like, I need to do this, and sit down or meet up with somebody and get them to record it for me. And
nice.
Like that. Yeah. But some of my musician friends are quite flaky, so
that's the one thing about anybody in the arts. Like same thing with comedians, same thing with stand-up, is like we will talk all day long about meeting up and being like, we should absolutely do this thing, and you're like really pumped about it, and just months go by. You're like, nobody gonna do it. Like it's just the weirdest kind of like, you get used to the flakiness a bit, but it is kind of like, I agree with you about like having your parents or somebody else there, because I feel like when somebody's on me to do something, because I do the same thing when I'm writing, I make myself notes, I never sit down to do anything. If I can play around on stage, then I'll perfect it within that time frame. But like, I also don't mind if somebody's on top of me about doing something, because I do get it done or get something done then, and it can still be creative. Cannot do it on my own.
Yeah.
If you feel like that somebody's holding you responsible, it makes it easier. I had somebody the other day. I was going for a walkthrough for a charity event, and this kid was like, he's like, "Oh, you're a DJ?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "How long?" I'm like, "Over 20 years." So he's like, "My friend's really good. He's just starting out. What's your advice for him?" Which was interesting. So I was like, "Okay." I was like, do you think he's great at what he does? And he was like, "Yeah, I do." I'm like, "Then tell him to learn how to do the business end of it, because like it goes like business and talent tend to skew like this, right?" So if they have creative, like huge creative talent, usually they don't know any of the business side, and vice versa. You know, I think that was solid. I don't know.
Yeah. The business end of stuff always eludes me too, and I really like. I'm okay at it. Or like, you know what's crazy? I hate when you're good enough to know when you're fucking up, because that's the worst ever. Where you're like, oh man,
yeah,
somebody could do this so much better. Like,
there's always someone then that can.
Yeah, exactly. I want to talk. So, were there when you were in university and stuff like that, and you had no intention of doing music, did you find other passions that maybe you didn't get to explore that much after you got out of there and went into a punk band?
Yeah, I spent my entire time in the sea surfing.
Oh wow!
So awesome. I didn't finish my degree because I was basically in the sea the whole time.
That's a great way to spend it, though.
It was great. And in the UK, if you can stand up on a surfboard as a girl, you're basically in the championships. I used to do all the competitions, and I was terrible.
Wow.
And I didn't win, but I stood up.
Oh my goodness. That's one of my cousins was a pro surfer for like years, like literally went out to Japan, like did all this stuff. And then I don't know if he stopped because he got hurt or whatever the deal was, but he got pretty far. And the sea and I are not friends. I got knocked down by a wave when I was a kid, like 3 years old. I screamed shark and took off for the highway. And like my dad had to like haul ass in California to like snag me. And ever since then, not a big fan.
Maybe on your 40th, you need to get back in there.
Dive back into the ocean.
Dive.
Yeah, right. That'd be great if I took your advice, but actually drowned, and they'd be like, Mel told him 40. He said he couldn't do the ocean, but she was like, you should do it.
It's okay. I know all first aid. When you work in a hospital, you have to be prepared for that.
Oh, wow. I didn't even think of that. That's crazy. Do you know when your next, basically, I know you're going to have your baby in the hospital or whatever, like, but is there any particular, like, are you like requesting that people be there to play music for you? Like what, like, are you like, guys, come on, I need something to have this baby to?
No.
I feel like that's not fair.
I did that too, people, though. Like we do sometimes play when people are in labor and they're out in their balls, and you're sort of building it up, the suspense and the drones and the heartbeat, boom, 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 boom.
Wow.
And sometimes it really works, and sometimes they just really just tell you to get lost.
Oh yeah.
Because I actually felt like that the last 2 times I had a baby, and in the end I had an epidural and then listened to a lot of whiny male voices and had a lovely time.
Oh, that's great.
I'll probably do that again this time.
Yeah. That's awesome, though. I didn't even think like that would be like a thing that they would allow you to do, because I'm not going to have kids. Probably the government's not going to allow it. But anytime I get close, they like step in. They're like, sir, please think about what you're doing. There's enough of you. But like, I know that like my friends who've been in the hospital, they're like, it's very strict. It's like just the dad's allowed in there, maybe if that, or like whatever the situation is going on. I don't know if it's different in the UK, but
yeah, I mean, you can have a couple of people usually.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
You can like take your own music and things like that and make it.
A couple of people in a band, apparently.
Yeah. Not everybody's allowed it. You have to be checked.
Oh, okay.
Not, crazy person.
Awesome. Did you? What was like? Was there a particular experience maybe when you were on tour with one of the bands that like you thought like you had maybe not made it necessarily, but thought like, oh man, I am right where I'm supposed to be. I'm so glad I made this decision.
I think we probably, in the Clientele, we probably all had a moment when we did the Jimmy Fallon show when we were like, what's going on? And just like the strangeness of also being in a room where there's a, you know, the audience are ready, now clap, laugh. It was, but it was a real moment. I remember we were all in backstage and we were just like, this is bizarre. This is bizarre.
That's where I first saw you guys.
Oh,
yeah.
That was.
I think I maybe had heard you guys before, but I think that I remember seeing you guys on Jimmy on his show or whatever, and I was just like, oh my god, they're so fucking awesome.
Oh, it was fun. That was really fun.
The one that I picked for the song "Never Anyone But You."
Yeah.
I like that song pops into my head over the you know when you just have songs that like stick in your brain and whatever, and sometimes you'll wake up and sit in the morning. Swear to God, that's one of those songs. Like I'll just be like going about my day or whatever, and all of a sudden it'll pop in my head, especially since it's such a nice summery kind of song too. Like I don't know what it is about it, but it's beautiful.
I actually hadn't heard that song for ages, and when you sent me the soundbite thing, I was just like, oh, that's such a. I loved playing that song. Really enjoyed playing that song. There's lots of like things going on.
That's it. That's what I like about it too. I think it like hits my ADD just right, where I'm just like, oh my god, there's so many instruments and the vocals are really sweet, and the lyrics are very sweet too.
Yeah, Al's a great like lyric writer. Yeah.
Did you ever like? Because I know you like collaboration, you were saying earlier and stuff like that. Do you feel like the need to input on lyrics and stuff like that, or do you kind of just stay in your lane with the instruments and the music and stuff?
I never did with the Clientele. It was not needed from me, and I don't think at that point it was like I would not have had the confidence anyway or have even put that to the test myself. I think now that I do, and I write lots of lyrics myself.
Yeah.
And yeah,
that's awesome.
Time. I mean, I'm like nearly 40, and I've been doing this since I was 21. So that's quite a slow mover,
right? Yeah, I can't. I cannot believe you're like almost 40 because that's crazy. You do not look like, not that anybody's supposed to look a certain way, but that's just nuts. You know what's crazy? I've been looking at a lot of they've been posting stuff on the internet because the internet just likes to torture people, where they're like, you know, the Golden Girls were only 40 when they started the show, you know, whatever. And
no way.
Swear to God.
No
like
way.
I'm not, dude, they were like 40 something, maybe 43, 40, like they're all like around that age. Yeah, they were basically like, you know, the Friends cast today is the exact same age that the Golden Girls are when they started doing the show.
Wow.
And it's nuts. Yeah, I know. I don't know what is happening or how well preserved we are or not. I don't know, but it's weird.
They had rougher lives.
Yeah.
Right?
B. Arthur lived quite the life. We're talking about, you know, Betty White. Yeah, it's just so weird.
It's making me think of that film where the three women are just like living forever and they keep falling down the stairs and breaking all their limbs. What is that really famous?
I don't know, but I need to see it.
What is that? Do you know the one I mean?
No.
Goldie Hawn in it. Are they three witches of some kind or something?
Witches of Eastwick?
Drop Dead Gorgeous?
No.
I can't remember what it is.
I think is it Drop Dead Gorgeous? Is it?
It's
oh my God! Hang on a second. Now we're gonna.
And they're yeah.
We should ask the people watching. They're really good at
ask the people watching. Don't go to your phone. Jackie, I know Jackie's watching. I see her commenting and joining us. If you could figure this out.
Yeah.
Women, Goldie Hawn's in it.
We'll send you another t-shirt.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that is great. I know exactly what you're talking. I've forgotten about that.
It's a huge staircase and they're just bones are cracking.
Yep.
Arms, you know.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
We're gonna figure this out.
That's amazing. Did you ever have any interest in like acting, going in any other kind of like form like that? Or were you always kind of like you know, because you said you don't like being photographed, which is kind of interesting because you kind of have to be, like, you're on tour constantly, you know what I mean? And you're part of that whole thing. But did you ever feel like, you know, dabbling in that realm?
I loved it at school, and then I just never really had time really.
Oh, okay.
I just feel like music took over, and then
Death becomes her.
Oh yes, it is. Yes,
Thank you, Jackie.
Hilarious.
Yeah. I'm gonna watch that again.
So am I now.
Yeah. We'll all be streaming it. For some reason, it's taking a really long time to load. We're like, what is going on? UK, 2 years from the States. Do you miss not performing when you're doing that kind of stuff? Or are you finding other ways to keep creative? Like, how do you stay like kind of like looped in?
Yeah, I miss it so much. Like, it makes me go a bit crazy. If I don't do exercise and go on stage, I'm not as nice a person. I've been told that. Yeah.
Oh, really?
No. Yeah, I really, 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 really miss it. Like, it makes me feel the best out of anything in the whole world, to be honest. I just feel, the buzz, the adrenaline, I love not always knowing what's going to happen. And like, it's lovely to have a set and to, I love that too. And being creative around that, but then also just putting yourself out there and being really vulnerable. Like, so one of the bands I play with, I just don't know any of the songs at all. I just turn up and drone.
Wow.
And they're happy for me to do that. And it's so nice for people to let you come and join their music. They don't know if you're going to like completely ruin it or not.
Right.
I love that.
But that's awesome though, because that's got to be part of the risk. Is like, I feel like everybody's very careful, even in like stand-up and comedy and stuff like that. Because when I was such a huge comedy nerd, like not that I've grown out of that, by the way, but like I'm like, I was a buttons all over the place. I was a nerd. Can you believe that back in the day? Holy shit. Jesus Christ, John. But I used to read like, all the cool shit that everybody used to do and coming up in the scene. And obviously when something's brand new, there's like a lot of reinvention and ways to like manipulate stuff. But now I feel like everybody kind of keeps close to the vest especially when money's involved and stuff. So to be able to have a band that's like, we trust you and just do whatever you want and play. It's got to be exciting.
It's really exciting. And it's like that playing in hospitals as well, because people are trusting you in the most vulnerable space. And
you do realize if I'm ever in the hospital, and I don't even care if it's for like the flu, I'm like, can we get them out here?
I'll fly over. I'm up for it.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I'll get rid of the baby. Don't worry.
I don't like the way you said you'll get rid of it. Like, give it I'm not that cruel. I like babies. I just don't, Is there another album coming out, I think, or something coming out? Because I read online that you were working on something, but I don't know if it was maybe just the recordings you were doing with your sister or.
Well, there is that, but I think I'm going to do. There's a couple of new things I've done with Le Volume Courbe.
Okay,
and then Steve Mason's new album is coming out. So I did like some sort of Indian-y inspired sort of violin.
Oh wow!
Which is actually harder than I thought it was going to be. I was like, oh yeah, I can do that. It's fine. Actually, really hard.
What was hard about it?
Because it's a different tuning to a normal violin, and they play it completely differently. It's like it's a very fluid, like moving the hands up and down and like bending of the notes. And it was harder than I thought it was going to be.
Did you have?
Let's just say that.
Okay.
But it was good.
Did you have like early inspirations that still inspire you today? Like, who was like an influence on you?
I think, when I was younger, it was Vanessa May. She was that one that popped up and everyone's like, wow, she's amazing, which she was. But I would say it very quickly went to John Cale.
Okay.
And that was quite a different vibe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you good with? No, go ahead.
Oh no, I just, and then it was just multi-instrumentalists. I just was like fascinated with people who, can play lots of different things. Yeah.
Are you good with meeting people like your heroes or like somebody that admire? Like, would you just walk up to them and like introduce yourself and be like, I'm part of this band and I've admired you forever? Or you kind of shy away?
Oh no, so I would pretend that I didn't know who they were. And maybe stand nearby and just hope that maybe something would happen.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I'd I once did that for my mum, and I've never done it since because she loves Coldplay, and she was like, please, let's go talk to him. And I went up and I said, oh, my mum really likes him. He was just like, great. And it was so awkward that I've never done that again. So.
Oh my God. I kind of love that we have a similar story. So I was doing a comedy club in Burbank, California called Flappers, and Dave Grohl was there. And I love Dave Grohl. Everybody loves Dave. Who doesn't love Dave Grohl, right? So, and my mom, though, also huge Dave Grohl fan, right? Like, doesn't even care about Nirvana or anything like that, but she thinks he's fucking awesome, right? So, I've obviously been doing stand-up. He's in the audience. He was there to see somebody else, but I was there, and I got to go and like meet him. And I walked up, and I'm like, "Hey, man!" And he's like, "Oh, great chat," and like all this other stuff. And I'm like, "Great!" And for some reason, I went, "By the way, my mom loves you." And he's just like, and he was really fucking cool about it. But he went, and obviously, like at the time, like I had a little bit shorter hair, but I still had like the goatee, and he has a go, and he's just like, "Your mom, huh?" And I was like, "Oh no." Me too. Like obviously, like I'm just. And he was like, let's get a photo for your mom or whatever. And he was like really cool about it. Like but I was just like, oh, why would I open with my mom loves you? God, like who gives a shit?
Like he was Wayne Newton.
I know, it was so. I just didn't know what to say. I thought maybe it would endear me to him, but he was just like, that's stupid.
By the way he said, let's get a photo of your mom, I think he almost thought you were lying, and you loved him so much. You came over and was like, my mom loves you.
Yeah,
your mom.
My mom's name is also John, by the way, if you could sign this. Oh, weird turn of events, but she's a John too. It's just trying to keep it in the family. Yeah, I'm a moron when it comes to shit like that. Are you do you have a favorite place, like because you've been touring so much and everything, like is there a particular place that you like to play? Do you like bigger venues, smaller venues? Because I know like the hospital is a very intimate scene, and that must be nice to get that kind of like reaction and feedback. Plus you're playing for people who like need it desperately and like are really into it. But is there like a venue of yours that you enjoy going to, or a state or country?
Oh, so many. I mean, it's hard. I mean, there's like in Spain, like they are just so proud of their food that when you go, they take you out the most amazing meals, and
wow,
the promoters always like really into that, like showing you what they have, and it's amazing. But I don't know, I'm trying to think of like in the States, like I always loved playing obviously the big cities, but medium-sized venues are my bag. I love those ones. I like the ones where you can feel that the crowd is big, but you can still see the crowd, and it's like, and you're not so far away from each other on the stage that it's like it's sterile. Like,
right?
Yeah, people to walk to it and touch each other, and
yeah,
because some of those like really big, like festivals, especially, like you're so far apart from each other. It's like you're in your own island, and it's quite hard to get that sort of feel between you. I think sometimes.
Right.
Gotcha.
You have to walk like half a mile over to the other side.
Yeah. Yeah, that's absolutely true. I never thought about that at a festival, but yeah.
Yeah. I used to really like the Knitting Factory. That was always quite a fun one to come back to, because the States, we used to always start like in New York and go around Canada and up and down through the middle, and then end back up there. And
nice.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's great. I love the Knitting Factory too. That's actually really good to hear.
Is it still? It's still there.
It's still there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a smaller one, isn't it? It's like
it is.
Not big.
It's small, but so cool. And just like, I think like even acoustically, like it really kind of like you can, I don't know. It's one of those places that you wish other places would kind of model themselves after. Like they do it kind of right, guys.
Yeah. I love playing churches though. There's some amazing churches in London that we've done, like Union Chapel. If you're ever over here and you come and watch a gig there, because it's just magical.
I'd love to.
Yeah.
I've never been. My grandfather's from England.
You've never been?
I've never been.
You need to get over here.
I will leave now.
Yeah. It's a house swap. You can look after the kids.
Okay. I'm honored that you trust me. That's very sweet.
She said she's trying to get rid of them, John. That's why she's letting you take them.
Oh no, I'm be great. That'd be awesome. Yeah. Yeah, no, I've never been over there. I have some family still that's out there and stuff, and he's from holy mother of God, I can't oh my God, I'm blanking on where this is the long COVID, by the way. I
Leeds.
swear to God, it's all no, not Leeds. It's a sea area on the
A sea area.
oh my God, this is terrible. I know this is not what, but, you know, like a shore town basically, but Brighton.
Oh, Brighton, yes.
Yeah, that's where he's from.
That's a fun place to visit.
Yeah, I've heard it's like a nice time.
Yeah.
I want to go there, and I want to go, like, if I go, I want to go to like there, and I kind of want to take, they said like you can take a train to like Scotland and like kind of like hit up. I want to do that kind of stuff.
John, you know what you would love to do?
Oh,
There's
God, what?
actually a 9 3/4 in the station. I swear to God.
I was hoping, I'm not even kidding you, I was hoping it was going to be a Harry. That's my knowledge of the UK, by the way, is Harry Potter. I'm sorry. I know that's like, you know.
It exists
Yeah.
in the station, and you can hold on to the cart as you go through the wall. I mean,
Yeah.
You can.
I'm sure it's the equivalent of people being like, yeah, we know a lot about America. We've been to KFC. You know what I mean? Like, it's probably it's probably similar, but yeah.
Waffle House.
Well, or Waffle House. Yeah,
Waffle
or Waffle House. Yeah. You're like, hold on. I've been to
I know all of them.
Yeah. Waffle House is the superior. Yeah, it is like a superior breakfast place. Like they're not. We had do you know Frank Turner? He was talking about the difference between IHOP and like Waffle House, and he was basically like Waffle House lets you know they're killing you. Like they're not shy about it. like where he's like, I feel like International House of Pancakes tries to hide it, and I'm like, yeah, I get
more
it.
elusive.
Sugar.
Yes, literally.
Are you a big foodie? Do you like are you into food?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really am. Although I just don't have very much space at the moment, so I need to get the baby out. I literally can eat a meal about that big, and then I'm full. It's so annoying.
Oh my God, brutal.
And I love eating massive dinners, which you're not going to do. Like that's my favorite.
Yep.
Why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. Some of my friends think it's so weird because I'm very like, I'll eat like small meals during the day, and like my big thing is like, where are we going? I used to literally, I think if like, I don't know, like if somebody was like writing a movie of my life, like half of the lines would be, hey, what do you want to do for dinner? Like that, because that's literally like, it's like, you know, fucking 5 a.m. and I'm like, guys, what are we doing for dinner? Are we doing anything later? Nobody's going to pizza, or have to plan it out.
God bless you too and your metabolisms.
It's all in the hair, man. I think that's where it goes for me. I don't know.
Those are right out.
These are all just fatty cells. I think that's what. That's basically it.
Wow.
Yeah, but so I want to ask you the 3 questions that we ask every guest that comes onto the show. Also, just thank you for coming on and spending an hour with us. I appreciate it.
Hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got to go. I didn't realize it'd been so long. Wow.
Oh, that's sweet. Good.
That means we could take a car trip together. See?
Full circle. Comes right back. Yeah. I'm like enamored by, I know you said it earlier backstage, but that exercise equipment, I think you got me beat, because that's a pull-up bar too, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is sick.
Obviously, that's not me doing that.
No.
I think what's crazier is there's rings. So he does the rings.
Yeah, the rings, and then there's also a
Wow.
sergeant's hat on the top as well. We probably can't see.
Oh, I can see it now. Yeah.
I'm not sure why that's there.
That's pretty great. You never know. You got to know. You know what I mean? You're maybe doing pull-ups, and then boom, World War III starts. Yeah, I know. I don't know why I said. Well, I'll cut that out. What? Ixnay. So first question is, if you go back in time and talk to your younger self, what piece of advice would you give yourself that would help you today?
Oh. That's so hard. This is really boring. Just have the confidence.
Love that.
It's just really boring, but it's true for me.
No, I'm glad you. Like, it's one of those things that hits home, I think, for a lot of people, and I think it's nice to hear it from people who are successful in their career and their art and everything like that. To know that, like, we don't all start out, you know, with the confidence to do what we want.
Yeah, and you can look like you have the confidence, and often don't.
You're not kidding.
That look like they do are the ones that don't. So, yeah.
I totally get it. This is all a facade. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So second question is, what had to end in your life, good or bad, that led you to where you are today?
Reading the music.
Oh. Oh, and that's what led you to like improvising and being able to play on stage?
Every opportunity that I've had has been because of that, I think, really.
That's so cool.
Wow.
Yeah. Do you remember the moment when it clicked for you?
I think it was probably when I was with the Clientele.
Nice.
Yeah. Clientele, sorry.
I know. I'm gonna dub myself over saying it the correct way. It's gonna look so weird. I'm like,
you are saying it the correct way for an American.
That's true.
Oh,
That's
you're
true.
so kind.
Yeah, she's very nice. Yeah, she's like for an American, for a real Slav.
Sorry.
Yeah. And the last question ties into the show. So if this was like a genuine dystopia, more than it is currently now between our two countries, you know, and if it was either government unrest or the fall of the government or aliens or zombies or a comet heading toward Earth, but you wake up and everybody knows it's their last day on Earth, what would be your epic death? How would you want to go out?
Ooh. I think falling off something really high.
Oh,
Wow.
Really, you know, like a squirrel suit, but without a squirrel suit.
Wait, no, I kind of want you to wear the squirrel suit now.
I don't fire, no. Drowning, no. I think flying, reaching terminal velocity, and then passing out. That would be.
Oh, wow.
Or you actually hit the ground.
Beautiful. I love that. You're the first person to ever say anything remotely close to that.
Sorry.
No, love it. We love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Want to thank you so much again for coming on and spending time with us. I really appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and I hope you'll come back when you go back out on tour and stuff, or whether it's you know, hospital stuff, whatever you got to plug.
Yeah, or even before. And thank you so much. Also, good luck on having the baby next week. Super exciting.
Yeah, that's incredible. A week left. Wow.
Right? You look great. And then me and John are gonna make our way to England so we can come see you.
Oh yeah, do. Yeah, hit me up. That's what you say, isn't it?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do say that. Yes.
Without a doubt. We definitely shall.
We'll go to the Union Chapel and watch a really good band.
Awesome.
Sold.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
Sounds great.
Love
Thanks
that.
so much.
Take care. Peace.
Guys, bye.
Dystopia Tonight.